competing in London? I mean, for you, I'm sure that was quite an experience.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it was definitely a little bit different for me this time round, just being, you know, getting to go again and having a little bit of experience of knowing what to expect. But I think the big thing for me anyway was having the home Olympics and being in London. It was just an amazing experience, both generally with the Olympics of, you know, the atmosphere in London, around the village, but also the shooting experience was very different, having you know, such a big home crowd, and it was probably some of the, you know, the most noise and, you know, as good an atmosphere we've seen in you know, for a shooting competition in a long time. So yeah, just the whole thing was really fantastic, and obviously having, you know, these two there was really great, and seeing you know, Nicco have his success was pretty incredible as well.
Is the overall Olympic vibe in London similar to what you experienced in Beijing?
Yeah, I think so. You maybe experience it differently because you have you know, you sort of know a little bit of what to expect, and basically a multi-sport event is so much different from a regular competition that we would go to, even if we went to our World Championships. So it could be Olympics, could be Pan Am Games. For me, I've experienced Commonwealth Games. I think these two have been to a World University Games. So any of those multi-sport events where you're in an athlete village and there's many sports competing, you know, that's just a completely different atmosphere from anything else we experienced. So yeah, it was, I wouldn't say there was too much for me that was unexpected, but definitely a great atmosphere to be part of.
Well, Nicco, you came home the most decorated of the three up there. First, let's start with the silver medal in the 10-meter. That experience for you, I know, is neck and neck all the way up until the last few shots. So, I mean, how was it to be competing in that and ultimately come out with the silver?
Well, definitely, the first match was the hard one. It was really, really tough. Of course, I was first in the world ranking in 2 events, air gun and 3 position, and I mean, as a first event, I have to. That was the first jump. It was really, really tough till the end. I think I shot a great match. I was really, really proud of my performance, and pretty much, I mean, whatever I said right after the matches, after the 2nd place, after the 8th place, and after the gold, it was pretty much the same. I mean, I was really, really happy with my performances, and then it's up to the other guys. I mean, the other guys are as good as me, with a lot of talent, with a lot of preparation, and that day, the guy that won, Moldoveanu, he was just better than me, and he deserved to win. So I was really, really happy for that performance. And then there was a medal too. And then, of course, 1 week at the village, it's really long, because even if, yeah, the life over there it's cool and everything, well, every day you spend a lot of energy, and it wasn't easy at all. Try to stay focused, try to stay in the moment, and for this I really have to thank Petra. That, of course, I mean, we share this Olympic experience together, and I mean, definitely a lot of days she saved me. I mean, just a day of rest and to recharge the battery. And the last day, I mean, it was a good score for me. Nothing special, nothing different from the other matches that I shot this year in the World Cups. But of course, I mean, it was the Olympic Games, so everybody got excited, I guess, around me. And then, I mean, the final with 8 points lead, it was really weird, of course. I mean, usually you don't shoot with 8 points lead, and there were some nightmares, because, I mean, especially in this event, 3 position, we saw a lot of weird stuff in the last 2 Olympics. I mean, Matthew Emmons, the American shooter, he shot at 0 by mistake in Athens and a 4 in Beijing. So, I mean, even if it was an easy final, I really tried to not mess up the whole thing. And it worked out, and actually I was really, really happy that Matt was with me on the podium. That's what I said also in the press conference over there. He's a great inspiration for me. The way he lost in Beijing, I mean, he was able to smile after 10 minutes. That was the most impressive thing I saw in a shooting range. And I'm just glad that I shared the podium with such a champion.
Can you describe, Nicco, standing on the podium with the gold medal around your neck and your country's national anthem? I know you've seen it on TV, but actually...
Yeah, I mean, it's great. It's a great feeling. Honestly, I was just really tired. I wasn't really in the mood to enjoy it. It was a really long week for me. After 2 matches, to find the energy to shoot the long one, the 3 position, it was 120 shots and everything. It wasn't easy to find again motivation and everything. So at the end, after the last shot in the final, I was so happy that everything was finished. So I did not enjoy that moment probably that much. It was just turning off my mind. But no, then the day after, I think when you wake up the day after in the morning in your bed and you realize what happened the day before, that's great, of course.
You said your phone was blowing up.
Yeah.
The day that you were promising to get back to everybody, did you?
Well, yeah, I did. With their help, we sent a lot of postcards that night. We stay up all night and we wrote like 150 postcards. A lot of these postcards went to United States. I mean, I really have to share this success with a lot of people over here. First of all, John. I mean, he brought me here 3 years ago, and it's the truth. Without this experience, I would not be at this level. Without Morgantown, probably I would not be here talking about medals. The whole America experience had a huge impact on my life. I'm talking academically and sport, everything. So, of course, thanks John again, and I really want to thank the sports psychologist department. That I think you have to be really, really proud of what you have here. It's unbelievable. I mean, I had a lot of experience back home with sports psychologists, and it didn't work out really well. But here you have a world-class level sports psychology department. I mean, I had the privilege to work with Dr. Ed Etzel, that he was an Olympic champion too in '84, and the privilege to work with Raymond Prieur, is the sports psychologist and a PhD student here. It's just unbelievable. I mean, the mental preparation that I've done these 3 years, that was the real thing that made a difference in London.
Have you seen Edsel since you came back? And
of course.
And how did you express that to him, and what was his reaction?
Well, he's an interesting person. He's never gonna... He didn't hug me or anything. Yes, but I mean, he was really, really close to me. Even during that week at the village, I called him a lot of time with Skype, and he was a huge help. And yeah, when I saw him, we just shaking hands and smile, and it's great. I mean, what he has done with me, it was, I think, a great experience for me, but it was an adventure for him too. I mean, going back to Olympic level shooting, and I think we both succeed.
Give me an example of what you called him. What would you call him about? Was it like the night before you shot, or every day, or?
Not every day, but definitely. Yeah, I had 3 competition, and all the 3 nights before the matches, I called him, and
looking for reinforcement, or looking for?
Yeah, I mean,
looking for answers. I mean,
no, it's the only difference between an Olympic Games and a World Cup or a World Championship is you have to deal with so many distractions. A lot of people talk about medals. A lot of people talk about outcomes. These are distractions and nothing else. I mean, you have to stay focused on your job. You have to stay in the moment. And I mean, you have to deal with, I don't know, 20, 30 people every day that talk about medals. At the end of the day, before I go to sleep, I would like to talk with someone that actually care about technical elements and myself beside medals or anything else.
How much pressure did you feel? Like you said, you came in ranked #1 in the world in all those different events. You'd already put up the good scores at World Cup. Did you feel pressure going into each event?
Well, I was really well prepared. As I said, these 3 years here working with the WVU rifle team, working with Edsel, gave me enough tools to deal with this kind of pressure. I mean, I think I've done the right preparation back home. I didn't stay in Italy. The 2 months before, I was traveling with Petra. We went training in Serbia. We went training in Croatia with other friends that were getting ready for the Olympics too. And that was the right choice. And again, I turned off my phones during the during the Olympic period. I think I was really well prepared. Of course, there was some pressure, but that day, I mean, when I heard the start, I know exactly what to do. I know how to do it, and I did it. It was kind of simple, actually. It was, yeah, that's it, just 60 shots. And, yeah, Olympics or not Olympics, it wasn't a big difference.
Sorry, go ahead.
How long have you been in town? How long have you
3 days now. Yeah.
planned?
Yeah, I'll stay here for another week, and then I go to Colorado. Another friend, actually, teammate here in WVU Rifle, Brian Walliser, he's getting married, so we are organizing his wedding and everything, and then I go back home. I'll start my grad school in England pretty soon.
Where are you going to school?
It's gonna be Sheffield and major in sport engineering.
Petra, he said you saved him. How? I mean, number one, and what have you taken from both the experience and from being with him?
He's saying I saved him simple because whenever he was freaking out, I was not. So no, there's just it's hard to be in the Olympics as a couple because you're trying not to be in 2 Olympics. Now you're on in your own, so you try not to be in your boyfriend's too. It's a hard thing to do, but I think we did a great job. Like when he was a little stressed out, I tried to ensure him in whatever I thought was best for him, and that I will be there whatever's gonna happen. Even if you lose tomorrow or if you do bad, it's not gonna matter to me. Like I still like you. I liked you before, and I still like you now. Like that's not the deal. And I think that's but that's the basic. That that somebody reminds you that your parents or your friends, they're your friends because they know who you are, and as long as you stay who you are, they're still gonna like you. Whatever happens, they will be there for you. I mean, these are the people that matter. And just every now and then I reminded him, and I think it helped. And for me, it was hard. I was in 3 finals for him. I was in 3 matches with him. I was in 2 medal ceremonies and 3 finals. I packed his stuff twice for him. But nevertheless, I think for my own competitions, I did everything I could. I took my time for myself to prepare as best as I could, and I shot a great match. I learned lots of stuff, and it was hard for me at the beginning also to understand, just because I didn't win a medal, that I didn't do bad. Like, I didn't do bad. But I'm actually happy with my result. In shooting, it's just so random sometimes that 1 point more, you win, 1 point less, you're 12th. No, I got 12th twice. And it's hard to don't forget that I had a great match. I had a great performance. And I'm actually proud for having done everything I did.
Do you inherit mantle from him here now? I mean,
no. I'm gonna try again in Rio, probably. We'll see. I think what's the most important thing I took from this Olympics is that yes, it is just a match like other match, you shoot the same amount of shots, you have the same amount of time, you have the same preparation. The problem is all the other people around you try to tell you what you're supposed to feel and what you're supposed to think, and at the end you should know best what you're supposed to think and feel. And I think that's what I learned. That's the most important thing.
Target's only that big.
Yeah, and but it's always the same size. Like it's at home or in the Olympics. At the end, the Olympics is just another match. It's the people that make you think, oh my God, the Olympics, it's overwhelming, no? And it's not. You just need to know what you need to do, and you train that every day, every year. So you technically already know what you need to do.
What was opening ceremony like for you? I know Nicco and Jon experienced that in Beijing. What was it like for you?
I didn't go. I had to shoot. I had to shoot at 8:15 the next morning. I was up at 4 o'clock in the night to be prepared for shooting at 8 o'clock. So I couldn't go to the opening ceremony.
Yeah, women's air rifle is traditionally always the very first medal and one of the first events. So, yeah, typically the very few of the girls get to go.
Were you there?
Yeah, I went. Different. You know that it wasn't maybe quite as overwhelming that I'd been to one before, and again, sort of knew what was going to happen. But certainly, being part of a home team was really cool. It was I think Team GB had the biggest team there, which obviously only ever happens at a home Olympics, and walking in last and having not just the crowd in the stadium cheering, but as we got assembled and walked from the village to the stadium, and sort of the street or the area there was just lined with people cheering for you, and just it was really cool for me to see the support that the team got from just almost every member of the public and volunteer that we saw. I mean, Britain's a very football or soccer dominated country, and pretty much life for most people revolves around the Premiership and things like that. So it was really good to see, not just shooting, but all the sports of the in the Olympics, and all the Olympic athletes really become the focus in not just London but the whole country for those 2 or 3 weeks, and it was just really well received and really good to be part of that.
I don't know, I think never ever somebody in 3P won a medal in Italy. Like for us, shooting in any country, shooting is a tiny little sport that has no money and no supporters. And for us, it was huge to get a medal, to win as much medals as we did. It was for Italy, it was really, really important, and every shooter knows that. So for me, even seeing it objective from outside, it was important that we are going to win a medal. And we didn't just win one, we won 3. And I hope something is going to come from that, even if just one random little kid saw us in TV and comes tomorrow to the range to see what this is like, then we succeeded. And I think that's why even if he would be a person I wouldn't like, but he would compete for Italy or for WU, I would still be rooting for him because I know how important it would be.
I think also it was a great story to tell. My story, just not because I was a shooter and everything, but through the sport, I got the opportunity to have a scholarship and to have an education in the United States. And a lot of people right now in Italy are wondering what's wrong in our system and what's better here. And I mean, there are a lot of differences. I mean, this is why I came in the United States. It's impossible to study and be professional in sport back home. And here, I mean, it was easier. I didn't say, I don't want to say it was easy, but at least it was possible. And I mean, I'm a good student. I finished with a 3.9 GPA. I won the Olympics in my sport. It is possible. And I think that the great thing here is that you consider sport as something more. I mean, he graduated and he did also sport. That's good. That's even better. back home it's like, you did a sport, I guess, so you didn't study that much. And that's too bad. So I think it's a great story. I mean, it's not just sport for itself, but sport as an opportunity. I learned a lot. I got education. I met great people that changed my life. Of course, one is Edsel, but I mean, another one is right here. So we'll see what happens in the future. Probably many Italians will apply at WU. That's for sure. A lot of people are talking about WU right now back home, but it's going to be even better if we are able to change our system and getting a little bit closer to yours.
Coach, sort of along those lines, what can this do for your program? I mean, to sit here with obviously two people you helped train and your own experience as well.
Sure. I mean, it can only benefit the program. You know, firstly, I've been often asked many times, how did you recruit Nicco? How did you recruit Petra? How did you manage to bring them over here? You know, it's like Nicco said, it wasn't, any hard job. It's just this U.S. and college system over here just offers fantastic opportunities, and something that I was able to take advantage of, and then just be able to tell others about and bring them over. So it's just a great opportunity. But absolutely, I mean, the exposure that I think West Virginia gets from it is great, both within the shooting community worldwide, within Italy as a whole country, in Great Britain, and just all around the world, and obviously over here. So it can only be of a huge benefit, and just it's about just spreading the word of the opportunities that are available, and I think that's like I said, it can only be of huge benefit. And these two are obviously two of the best kind of role models that you can have. As Nicco said, both of them have fantastic grades, get all their classes done, get all their work done to the range, and not only they're sort of really set a really good example to all the team members that we have, that it's perfectly possible to have a 3.9, 4.0 GPA and be an All-American or a national champion or even an Olympic champion. It's all possible. So it's they set a great example for the rest of my team and future recruits, other team members. So it's really good.
And Nicco, Petra said she's going to try to give it a go in Rio. Are you going to do the same?
Yeah, I will shoot for the other 4 years. I will have a break now. I will start shooting again next year. And then, we will get ready together for Rio. And probably Rio is going to be my last Olympic Games.